But Maruti has reported a strong performance in the month of May. The total sales are up in double digit, higher than consensus expectations. The domestic sales have seen a healthy 13% growth, but exports are a bit subdued. My colleague Sonia caught up with Shashank Srivastava, Senior Executive Officer, Marketing and Sales at Maruti Suzuki, to ask about the monthly sales numbers. She began by asking about the retail sales numbers. Listen in.
Well, the retails also were pretty good, I would say, in the month of May. For Maruti Suzuki, 136,600 compared with 123,000 last year. So that's a growth of about 11% in retails as well. The wholesale numbers for the passenger vehicles are 144,000 compared with 124,000 of last year. That's a growth of almost 16%. And when you compare it with the industry, actually Maruti Suzuki grew better than the industry. The wholesale for the industry, for example, was in May was 334,800. That was a growth of about 13.5% over previous year's 295,000. So Maruti grew faster than the industry, and as a result, our market share also went up by almost 0.3% to cumulatively in April and May. And May itself went up by almost 1%. The prognosis for June and July, we have to wait for June because June numbers would probably be impacted a little bit with the semiconductor availability still under pressure for some of our models. And I guess we'll also have to see the effect of the increased auto loan rates, which is now coming through after the repo rate increases, which have been being affected in the system from May onwards last year. So we'll have to wait and watch to see the June numbers. We are a little bit carefully monitoring the situation, especially the rainfall pattern of the El Nino effect, which could impact the future retails in the month of July and August.
So you said that Maruti grew better than the industry in May, and there was a slight improvement in your market share by about 0.3% in May. So what does the domestic market share stand at right now? And any kind of guidance that you have of, do you have levers to further grow your market share, both overall as well as in the SUV segment for the rest of the year?
Yes, so May actually the market share grew 1%. 0.3% was the increase in April and May combined. May itself, the market share grew 1%, and now it is at 43%, the overall market share. And in SUV, you're right, one of the big pillars of our strategy for further increasing our market share towards that 45% and in the medium term to 50% is the SUV segment, where our market share was very low. Like last year, it was only 12.1%. But happily, in this April to May period, our SUV market share has crossed the 20% mark. So we are on our target to achieve that 25% market share, which we had earlier declared for the SUV space as well. That should give us a good jump in the market share. By the way, SUVs, we were number 4 last year in the automobile among the automobile manufacturers. But in the month of April and May together, we are this year the number 2 manufacturer already. We aim to be number 1 by the end of this year.
Okay, so this 25% market share in the SUV segment that you're targeting, the timeline is by the end of FY24, correct?
Correct.
Okay, got that. I also noticed, I mean, since we're talking about SUVs, I noticed that the premium end of the market is looking very good. It was an over 60% growth that you saw in the wholesale numbers, specifically for the utility vehicle segment, and wholesales are sitting at over 46,000 now. Do you think this pace of growth is something that can continue in the premium end, and what are we looking at as at a monthly run rate?
Yes, so I think it should continue, especially because remember till September of last year, when we did not have the Vitara with us, and that means that the base effect till September would be low in any case for SUVs. And this year we also have the additional 2 models, the Fronx and the Jimny. The Fronx doing almost 10,000 a month, and the Jimny, which we are going to launch very shortly on the 7th of this month, where we have so far got substantial booking. Both these factors, Fronx and Jimny, and the full availability of the Grand Vitara going forward should help us sustain this growth momentum in the SUV space.
Okay, so the Fronx is doing 10,000 units per month currently. What do you
slightly
think?
Less than.
Okay, slightly less than that. What do you think the run rate of the Fronx could look like a couple of months down the line? And do you have enough capacity to increase this monthly run rate?
So we have 46,000 bookings so far for the francs, which is, I think, a pretty good rate. We are getting bookings almost at the rate of almost 680 to 700 per day. So that does mean that there is a waiting period already built up for the francs of almost 16 to 18 weeks. Yes, we are looking at how to make more francs going forward if this booking trend continues.
Okay, I do want to address the part of the market that is suffering, which is the small car segment. In fact, I was going through your mini car segment, which is your Alto and Espresso. And over there, you've seen almost a 30% fall compared to what we've seen last year. And it's not just you alone. I mean, the industry is also, facing a lot of difficulty in the lower end of the market, or the mass market segment, as we call it. Are you seeing any respite here at all? And what's the expectation over the next few months?
So, last year, this segment actually grew 20% to almost, 13 lakh 40,000 out of the 39 lakh odd vehicles sold in the passenger vehicles. This year, the figure has to be looked at with respect to last year's number of which included the Alto 800. Unfortunately, the Alto 800 has been discontinued, and last year the number for Alto 800 in the month of May was about 13,000. So this has been covered a little bit by the Alto K10, which is the larger 1-liter engine, but we could manage only about 9,800 or 9,700 units. So yes, there is a pressure on this lower end, especially if you look at it in the historical perspective of the last few years. I think the affordability factor has come down, which means that the increase in the prices in this segment has been disproportionate compared with the increased income level of the people buying these cars. So I think that is one of the reasons why the segment has declined to almost now 33-34% of the market. Used to be almost 40% a couple of years back.
Okay. So since you are seeing pressure in the affordable segment or the lower end of the market, do you think that even achieving this 5 to 7% growth for the industry, the passenger vehicle industry, could be a tall ask? I mean, we were having a chat with Mahindra & Mahindra, a few hours ago, and they also mentioned that at best, the overall passenger vehicle industry could see a 5 to 7% growth. But my question is, if there's so much pressure in the lower end of the market, do you think this could also be a challenge?
No, 5 to 7% at this moment, we haven't really revised the numbers downwards. We are looking at something like a 40.5 to 41 lakh passenger vehicle industry in the current financial year 23-24. Unless there is a very adverse impact on the interest rates front, or in the overall economic growth situation, or if there is a problem with respect to the agricultural output, then only we will look at revising this number downward. Actually, much of the decline in the entry level space has already been built in, and that is why we are still sticking to that projection of 5 to 7% growth. That is the industry being about 41 lakh units in this year.
Okay, 41 lakh units and 5 to 7% growth for the passenger vehicle industry. Got that. Finally, a word on exports. Continues to be a bit sluggish this time, down about 2.5%. But I get that there's the base effect as well into the picture. But just tell us about the export markets. Last time you were very optimistic, saying that the order book is robust over there. Any numbers that you can share with us?
Yeah, so actually the optimism continues. We have a good order book for exports, and the small decline that you see, about 2% or so, is largely there is a couple of shipments that we miss. Remember, these are shipment figures which we report for as exports. So this shipment, the ship, if it gets delayed by a couple of days towards the end of the month, it does impact the numbers a little bit. So we are still on track to achieve a growth in the export market. The last 2 years, we have seen very good numbers. Last year, 259,000, and we are looking to exceed that number this year.
Okay, that is the word coming in from Maruti. We'll do one thing, slip into a short break. Up next, we'll be joined by Siddhartha CH, who's the joint MD at Vishnu Chemicals, to take a look at their business outlook. Stay tuned.